Elon's doing a Twitter Spaces right now, and he's unhinged. Why can't I hear it?
Obviously people were killed, but it was, I think, incorrectly ascribed to be a white supremacist action, and the evidence for that was some obscure Russian website that no one's ever heard of that had no followers, and
he's talking about the shooter
company that found this is Bellingcat.
Right.
And do you know what Bellingcat does? Psy-Ops.
Right. I couldn't really even follow exactly what it was.
Oh my God, he's crazy.
Part why I was curious, but
I'm saying that I thought the ascribing it to white supremacy was bullshit.
Okay.
And that the information for that came from an obscure Russian website and was somehow magically found by Bellingcat, which is a company that does Psy-Ops.
And there's no proof, by the way, that he was not.
There's no proof.
He's not wrong about Bellingcat, but in this circumstance, it doesn't matter.
And that's a debate you want to get into.
Like, just because they are, just because they're CIA doesn't change the reality that this part is true. You know what I mean?
Okay. Can we talk about AI now? Sure. Actually, I want to talk about AI. Well, let me end with Twitter in the sense of Sam Altman was on the Hill today, and he said AI's ability to manipulate interactive disinformation is a significant
obscure just
area
because not American. It's obscure to Americans. It's weird that he was using that fucking Russian website as a diary.
How, I'm curious as to whether you agree with that. How you see that even playing out on Twitter with people who, who knows, somebody could look like you.
I like that this fucking David Faber immediately fucking flipped it to AI away from like Elon saying unhinged white supremacist shit.
So the reason that I'm asking people to be verified on
anyway,
Twitter,
a 3-minute ad break is upon us,
and that we're saying
you already know what to do if you want an uninterrupted broadcast experience,
which means that you've at least passed through whatever their security mechanisms are, that you have a credit card, so you now have passed through whatever security mechanisms the credit card company has, and that there's some small amount of money paid per month. That set of actions significantly increases the cost of fake accounts, and with the latest AI, it can bypass basically every test for are you a human. So then how do you know that a million accounts were created? How do you know that those are people?
I don't know. How do you?
Exactly. You have to do account verification. And the thing that makes I sort of put myself in the position of like, if it was my goal to manipulate public opinion and create millions of accounts and make it seem as though a topic was trending, and that this is actually what the public believes, but in order to do so, I had to get a million phone numbers, a million credit card numbers, and pay $8 a month,
right?
And have that all not be traceable and clustered. I would say it's impossible. Impossible. So the goal of the sort of Twitter verification is fundamentally to prevent AI manipulation of the system.
Got it. Final question on Twitter. Walter Isaacson, your biographer, he said your big goal for Twitter is disrupting the banking industry.
Well,
is that accurate?
I'd say that's a look. First of all, I don't want to disrupt something for the sake of disrupting it. It's more like if there is a better product, that's great. But I'm not out for disruption for the sake of disruption. I'm like, if we can make a product that improves quality of life for people that they find more useful, that's great. What people see in PayPal is sort of like a halfway. It's frankly sort of a half-baked version of what it could be. And so I think there's potential to create a more efficient financial system. And here we can get, again, quite esoteric into sort of information theory. But the actual financial system today is a heterogeneous set of databases running on mainframes and COBOL that still engage in batch processing. It's really quite very inefficient. So things are still not real time, and so it's possible to have a much more efficient, homogeneous real time data system. Money is just information, and so but that's not like the only reason. It's just a thing that would be, I think, poetic to fulfill ultimately the vision that I had for X over 23 years ago, and actually see that come to fruition would be nice. But there are many other things for Twitter. It's not just financial stuff.
Well, you talk about enhancing humanity. I'm curious then about AI, which many people say will lead to great productivity gains. You showed those robots. I mean, I can imagine what they conceivably could do when powered by AI. But I'm also curious, because you've certainly been concerned, what percentage do you give the chance that it will destroy humanity?
Well, the advent of artificial general intelligence is called a singularity because it is so hard to predict what will happen after that. I think it's very much a double-edged sword. I think there's a strong probability that it will make life much better, and that we'll have an age of abundance. And there's some chance that it goes wrong.
I got a new fucking gate, and it's so goddamn small, it's mind-boggling.
Hopefully that chance is small, but it's not zero. And so I think we want to take whatever actions we can think of.
And we just found out that the gate requires...
And you've called for a pause, along with the...
Okay, shut the fuck up, Elon, about artificial intelligence, dumbass. Singularity, all this shit. Yeah, Murat just opened the fucking thing and goes, oh, the gate also, the assembly of this gate also requires additional components that you have to buy. A few people in the chat are getting ads, including me, even though we're subbed. I promise I mean this from a good place and only to inform so you don't catch strays from yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm looking into it. Looking into it. Okay? I don't know. I don't know if, like... Wait, what? Did I just get fucking clapped from this space?
This is not... we don't have enough time, and nor is this the moment to really talk about it.
Okay.
Concerning.
We will have a launch event, and we will explore the issues in more detail. But I should say that and I mentioned this at the shareholder meeting, that Tesla has actually tremendous capability in real-world AI.
Yes.
In fact, it is very far.
Oh, it's live on...
I wanted me to sign on to the letter, and it's like I knew it would be futile. Like, it's one of those things, well, for the record, I recommended that we pause.
Okay.
Did I think there would be a pause? Absolutely not. So,
but you're starting XAI, I think that's what you're calling it, or some new AI effort. Well, how's it going to be different than OpenAI or Alphabet?
This is not the time to this is not. We don't have enough time, and nor is this the moment to really talk about it.
Okay.
We will have a launch event, and we'll explore the issues in more detail. But I should say that and I mentioned this at the shareholder meeting, that Tesla has actually tremendous capability in real-world AI.
Yes.
In fact, it is very far ahead of anyone.
I know people actually on Twitter prior to our interview were saying, he never gets asked about how advanced his AI is at Tesla. You always talk about the other names.
Tesla AI is, like I said, it's like, I'm not even sure who's second, frankly.
Why is that? What are people not understanding about what you have, and why are we talking so much about ChatGPT and generative AI at OpenAI and what Microsoft's going to be able to do with it, and not about Tesla?
I don't know. I mean, people do talk about it online. I think Tesla will have sort of a ChatGPT moment. Maybe if not this year, I'd say no later than next year.
Wait, say that again. I'm sorry. You're going to have a
sort of ChatGPT moment.
Oh, you will. In terms of suddenly it will.
Yeah, suddenly 3 million cars will be able to drive themselves with no one.
Right. It goes back to that. Right.
Yeah, and then 5 million cars, and then 10 million cars. So And I would also say that if positions were reversed and say, well, in fact, the positions are reversed. For example, Google has Waymo, which is sort of attempting self-driving, and they are able to make self-driving work in a very limited.
Dude, he's the richest person on the planet. There's no instance where like they're not gonna suck him off. Okay? The entire purpose of the media is to literally suck his dick dry. So he could say the most unhinged white supremacist reactionary nonsense, and his net worth alone will cause every fucking serious journalist who went to like every fucking serious journalism school and spent all of their time doing serious journalism to turn around and just be like, yes, let's move on to AI really quickly, after he said like the white supremacist was a psyop. You know what I mean? That's it. It's not going to be contentious. No matter what happens, they're going to suck his dick dry. Okay?
And we flip the tasks, Tesla would win.
You'd win.
Yes.
And you have the computing power and everything else you need to do it.
Absolutely.
I'm being told we don't have that much time. Can you give me another 5 minutes? Or
Yeah, I think so. I do have a board meeting.
I know.
But 5 minutes is probably fine, sure.
Okay, thank you.
We can make it smaller.
OpenAI, I mean, you seem somewhat frustrated with them. You were one of the big contributors early on.
The reason I am the reason OpenAI exists.
How much money did you give them?
I'm not sure the exact number, but it's some number on the order of $50 million. Man, fate loves irony, next level. So I used to be close friends with Larry Page, and I would stay at his house, and we'd have these conversations long into the evening about AI, and I would be constantly urging him to be careful about the danger of AI, and
Asleep? What are you doing?
he was really not concerned about the danger of AI and was quite cavalier about it, and at the time, Google, especially after their acquisition of DeepMind, had 3/4 of the world's AI talent. They had obviously a lot of computers and a lot of money, so it was a unipolar world for AI, and
we spent the past hour joking about Yeonmi Parks, who lies all the time as a profession. But this man literally invented that. Well, he didn't invent it, but he perfected it. You know what I mean? Like, he lies just as much as Yeonmi Parks does, but because he's a billionaire and some of his lies, no matter whichever way they pan out, have yielded tremendous success for him and his stock, it doesn't matter. He can just get away with saying whatever the fuck he wants.
Right, so you helped to the creation of OpenAI. You put in as much as $50 million.
More than helped. It wouldn't exist without me.
It wouldn't exist without you. So
I came up with a name.
Right.
The name OpenAI refers to open source. So the intent was, what was the opposite? What's the opposite of Google? Would be an open source nonprofit, because Google is closed source for profit, and that profit motivation can be potentially dangerous.
Should you have gotten governance for that money? Should you have gotten some level of control, perhaps, in retrospect?
Yeah, I fully admit to being a huge idiot here. Anyway, so OpenAI was like meant to be open as an open source. It was created as a 501c3, so part of it is also, in the beginning, I thought, look, this is probably a hopeless endeavor. How could we possibly compete with? How could OpenAI possibly compete with Google DeepMind? I mean, this seemed like an ant against an elephant, you know, which is not a contest. And I was also, I was instrumental in recruiting the key scientists and engineers, most notably Ilya Sutskever. In fact, Ilya went back and forth several times, because he would say he's going to join OpenAI, then Demis would convince him not to, then I would convince him to do so, and this went back and forth several times, and ultimately he decided to join OpenAI, and really Ilya joining was the linchpin for OpenAI being ultimately successful.
So you're very disappointed in what's happened there in terms of it becoming a for-profit. Do you
I
take
would
any
say
action? Sue them in some way?
I do think that there's some. Look, it does seem weird that something can be a non-profit, open source, and somehow transform itself into a for-profit closed source. I mean, this would be like let's say you funded an organization to save the Amazon rainforest, and instead they became a lumber company and chopped down the forest and sold it for money. And you'd be therefore like, well, wait a second, that's the exact opposite of what I gave the money for.
Yeah.
Is that legal? That doesn't seem legal. And if it is, and in general, if it is legal to start a company as a nonprofit and then take the IP and transfer it to a for-profit that then makes tons of money, shouldn't everyone start? Shouldn't that be the default?
Right.
And then I also think it's important to understand the like when push comes to shove, let's say they do create some digital superintelligence, almost godlike intelligence. Well, who's in control?
Yeah.
And what exactly is the relationship between OpenAI and Microsoft? And I do worry that Microsoft actually may be more in control than, say, the leadership team at OpenAI realizes.
One of them get along.
I mean, Microsoft, as part of the Microsoft investment, they have rights to all of the software.
Chat, Mirage just fucking rolled up with a slice of banana cream pie and didn't bring any for your boy. Are y'all still rocking with Marat or nah? Okay. You got recognized at work today? By who? Like, what do you mean? They were like, oh, I recognize you for your wonderful contributions to Boeing? Or like, do they recognize you from the... Wait. Wait, what? Apparently, they recognized him at the lunch line. They were like, oh, you're Marat. Dude, you're famous in Boeing? Damn, dude. He's the public face, dude. He's the public face of science out here. That's crazy. Give me a fucking banana cream pie slice, please. What the fuck is this shit? Your colleagues are going to know you're a piece of shit who doesn't bring his obby banana cream pie and eats right in his face. No, you're eating it right in my face. That's crazy. That's crazy. Know the real him, okay? His obby, yeah, that's what it is. That obby means older brother. That's what he calls me. That's... Damn it, he's back after that banana cream pie transgression? Yes. He gets recognized one time and he's too big time to give you pie. Holy. Yeah. Yeah. Eat his ass. Look at this fucking guy. He's like, yeah, I'm too famous, dog. Get your own fucking banana cream pie, bitch. That's what he's doing.
I mean, if I think about it too hard, it frankly can be dispiriting and demotivating. Because, I mean, I go through, I've put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into building the companies, and then I'm like, wait, well, should I be doing this?
Oh,
because
he puts a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, man.
sacrificing
It's
time
so
with friends
hard
and
for
family,
him. It's so like Twitter. Like, we know how much blood, sweat, and tears he put into
the
Twitter.
AI can do all these things. Does that make sense? I don't know. To some extent, I have to have deliberate suspension of disbelief in order to remain motivated. So I guess I would say just, you know, work on things that you find interesting, fulfilling, and that contribute some good to the rest of society.
Okay. Well, that's a great place to end. There's so much we didn't get to. I hope you'll give me another chance to sit down with you. But Elon, thank you for being so generous with your time. Thanks to your board for waiting as well, and thanks for having us here.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. We are your loyal subjects, your loyal servants, sir. Thank you, sir. Anyway, listen. We looked at muzzle length, tail length, likely normal tail length. Likely to have hind dew claws. Let's get back to fucking the real issue at hand. Kaya. Okay? Are you going to bring her in here at least? Bring her in here? No, I want a slice. What the fuck is this? He said there's only a finite amount of pie, and that's why I didn't give it to you. Yeah, no shit. Yeah, it's not an infinite resource, which is why you should share.